CBS. Brought to you by KPIC TV and Pacific Racing Association. I'm Wayne Dodge, and with me on the telecast tonight will be Judy Palmer in the pit area. Judy, what are you going to have for us tonight?
Well, I'll be bringing you action from the infield, interviewing owners and those people that are driving the cars as well as those working, just so everybody can find out what it's like to be down here where the action is.
That sounds great. We're looking forward to interviews from the pit area and the infield. In the booth with me will be the president of Pacific Racing Association, Terry Lawson. Terry, what does PRA have for us tonight?
Tonight's our 11th championship points race for our 3 classes that we run here. We'll run trophy dashes, heat races, and 3 main events.
That sounds great. Thank you, Terry. We'll be back with racing after this commercial timeout. Welcome, everybody, to the 1984 Douglas County Fair, and we're having some fantastic auto racing getting underway right here at Roseburg Speedway. On the track right now and ready to go for the first trophy dash of the night will be our Jalopies. And Terry Lawson with me here in the booth. Who do we have racing tonight?
Car number 06 on the pole, we have Don Taggart. 76 is George Cannon. Junior 22 car is John Harvey. 06, Don Taggart.
That's Don Taggart in the 06 car. He's on the outside. Thanks to Fleury Supply Company bringing out the water truck. Watering down that part of the outfield will definitely make it a less dusty race with a fantastic crowd we have on hand tonight. Terry, how many people do you say we have in attendance tonight?
There'll be 5,000 people in these stands. They're full.
And the stands are jam-packed tonight. I wish you could be here to see this. This is a fantastic turnout. Everybody's having such a fantastic time at the 1984 Douglas County Fair. Drivers are being introduced now by the officials, and they're about ready to get underway. The number 96 car on the pole will be the slowest car in the race. These are the 4 fastest qualifiers, so there won't be a lot of time separating the slowest car from the faster car. But it looks like we have 3 General Motors products, and what is that beat-up number 22 back there?
I have no idea, Wayne.
That's a very good description of that car. That number 22 has been through an awful lot of racing. And John Harvey's doing a fantastic job of keeping the car together. Sometimes it's awful hard to make it race to race with the condition these cars end up at the end of a racing night. I think that's about a 66 Ford or something of that sort. Very strange looking. But you're in for a treat when you see the way the J cars drive. Now, I understand there was a kind of a pact made between the drivers that they wouldn't necessarily crash and bang during the first few laps or the first few races, something of that sort, Terry?
That depends on the flagman's instructions. I believe he's told them no contact on the first lap in all their events.
Well, that gives them a chance to get out and get sorted out, maybe have a pretty good race. Number 96 car, Jim Dalzell, will be leading the pack around when they get underway. All the drivers have been informed that there will be probably no contact on the first lap, and then look out. It's going to be a fantastic, crazy race. I guess we could call these guys crazy. It takes a certain temperament and a certain type of driver to drive a J car. Wouldn't you say, Terry?
Oh, that's definitely the case. These guys have formed up and they've turned this into a team sport where they gang up on particular individuals. One of the worst things you can be in this class is a points leader.
It doesn't sound very fair, but I guess it's all in the spirit of having fun and making this type of sport a good hobby. Looks like we're about ready to go. Flagman is looking them over, making sure the track is safe to race on. And off we go for the warm-up lap, or parade lap. This is where the drivers get a chance to get their tires warmed up and then get out into competition. Jim Dalzell leading them around the first lap. Looks like he's taking them off pretty hot. And of course, hot meaning that they're going pretty fast on the warm-up lap. They'll be coming around turn 4. Let's watch for a green flag. The green flag's out. They're racing. Dalzell jumps into the early lead. The number 96 car out in front, followed by number 76, George Cannon Jr. And there goes John Harvey in the inside into second place. Look out, we have a spin developing. Around goes Cannon. And Harvey's in pursuit of Jim Dalzell. George Cannon stuck there in turn 4. Look out, we have a car off at turn number 2. And that's Jim Dalzell. Our leader has disappeared around turn 4. Number 22 inherits the lead. That's John Harvey. Off down the front straightaway, you can see being followed closely by the number 6 car of Don Taggart. Taggart seems to be reeling in Harvey. It's going to be a 2-car battle for the trophy tonight. And you can see the smoke pouring out of number 76 car, George Cannon Jr., as he tries to get loose. There goes the checkered flag. And around turn 2 they go back into the pits. The winner, number 22, is John Harvey. You can see the left side of that car is not in the best of shape. How would you like to have that car sitting in your driveway there, folks? You certainly wouldn't want to take the wife out to dinner. There goes the number 76 car, George Cannon Jr., who got stuck in turn 4, smoking the tires, trying to get untracked and get back into the race, into competition, and run for that trophy. As George turns back into his pit, we will clarify a couple of things here. The pit area meaning the inside of the track, the area where all the cars are. Sometimes we call it the infield. And then, of course, we have the racing surface. You can see the tow truck over there picking up Jim Dalzell. What an unfortunate thing to break an axle going into turn 2 on the second lap of the race, out of competition for that first trophy dash. D&D towing over there to pick up Dalzell. That's called being on the hook. Out on the track, we have the For Sale 98 and the rest of the super stock cars. And in this race tonight, Terry, who do we have?
98 calls Jack Keck, 07 Mike Batman. Inside the back, Harlan Cohen. Gary Bennett on the outside, car 42. These are fast time car qualifying for this event.
There they go. They've got the green flag. There's no fooling around tonight. They're racing right off the bat. Number 98, Jack Keck, jumps out to an early lead. They're still in the first lap. Points leader Mike Batman is in second place. He'd like to get that trophy tonight. Here comes Jack Keck out of Coos Bay down the front straightaway at the end of the first lap. He's the leader. It's not a very long lead either. Mike Batman, you can see hammering on that back bumper, and Harlan Collins jumps to the inside to try to take over second spot. Oh, we have a couple of cars tangled on the front straight, but the action is all up front. Mike Batman on the inside of Jack Keck. Batman challenging for that lead. Keck on the outside has the slower line. He's a little bit loose. There goes Batman into first place. The white flag for Mike Batman. He's got one lap to go and a great lead out there. He's got half a straightaway lead over second place Jack Keck. Around turn 4. Down the front straightaway, and a checkered flag for our race winner. And that's number 07, Mike Batman. Second place going to Jack Keck. What a close race, Terry. Keck had that race for 3 laps, and on the third turn of the next to lap race, Mike Batman took his chance and dove to the inside And off down the front straightaway he went to take over the lead. There's Mike. You can see unbuckling, taking off those fireproof gloves. All drivers are required to wear fireproof clothing out here, aren't they, Terry?
Yes, very stringent safety rules in all the classes.
And of course, as you can tell, auto racing is not for the faint at heart. And these stringent safety regulations are for the protection of the drivers. For instance, Gordon Smith's fire last year.
Yeah, there were no injuries resulting from this fire. Very unfortunate. White flag lap in the lead of the race when he caught fire. Extremely exciting finish to the race.
Okay, out on the track now will be our exciting sprint cars. And on the pole is the RC, and that's Ronnie Hine. On the outside, number 44, Greg Benson.
Greg Brown.
Greg Brown, I'm sorry. Flagman says give him one more lap. They're still warming up. On the inside of the second row, that's car number 4 and a dramatically improved driver this year. That's Mark Kosmicki. And on the outside of him, fast time setter,
Gordon Smith.
Gordy Smith. Here they come sideways out of turn 4. And it looks like the flagman's a bit perturbed and send somebody to the back of the pack. They'll reform, come around, and maybe we'll get a start this time. As you can see, in all fairness to the rest of the race drivers, the cars must be tight and in a 4x4 pattern. Out of turn 4 they come again. Flagman says, look out. You could be next, buddy. So Greg Brown, number 44, is going to slow it down. He got a little bit too much of a jump. Seems to be that he wants on the inside.
We're going to have a realignment here, apparently.
We're reforming. Red flag is out. The starter says, boys, I want to have a little talk with you. And this is the way it's going to be. As he goes walking off with his hands on his hips and shakes a finger. And we're going to have an interview with the infield. Here's Judy Palmer.
We're standing here down where the action is. I'm talking with Mike Batman, who is number 1 going in this race tonight. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how do you feel about it right now?
Oh, it's the best place to be.
And you just did have a race. What was going on?
That's a trophy dash. You know, they take the 4 fastest qualifiers for each division, and they run them for 4 laps for trophies.
And what kind of mental preparation do you have?
We have
right
a green
now?
flag. And look out, we got Greg Brown in the front now. Number 44 jumps off to an early lead. Wanting to get in that first spot is RC Ronnie Hine. Ronnie Hine in second spot. Greg Brown in front now pulls out a little more lead. The cars go sideways into turn 3, come out sideways out of turn 4 down the front straightaway in a cloud of smoke. That's tire smoke. Tire smoke coming from the tires being spun at a terrific rate. Greg Brown still in the lead. That's the white flag lap, 3 laps down, and this is the last lap. Greg Brown in the lead as he goes a little bit high down the back stretch. Ronnie Hine in second, Mark Kosmicki in third, and Gordon Smith in the 4th spot. The checkered flag falls for our race winner. That race winner, number 44, Greg Brown. Greg Brown is showing some muscle tonight, Terry.
Got a real tight race going in the top 4. 3 of those cars are in the top 4 in the point standings.
And so what do we have happening now, Terry?
We have the trophy presentations at this point to our 3 Trophy Dash winners. John Harvey is the only one returning from this exact same lineup we had at the qualifying race on the 14th. We really can't be sure who's ever going to win one of these things.
Maybe we can explain to the race fans exactly how those race drivers and race lines were prepared. We had a race last weekend.
The race was on the 14th. You had to be here to time in to determine positions for this race. Trophy dashes have consisted of the 4 fastest cars in each class tonight.
But these racers actually competed last week.
At the last race, it was not last week. That was a week off to get set up for the fair. But yes, all these drivers did compete.
So that was 2 weeks ago then.
Yes.
That they competed. These will be the fastest trophy winners. And in our abbreviated program tonight, I understand that PRA has done away with the time trials tonight.
Yes, that's why we do all the qualifying for this race at the soonest event, the closest event to it.
Very good. That's a good explanation of how the races are set up for Fair Race 84. We're waiting for the trophy girl to come out for a trophy presentation. Having been a competitor myself, this is a very proud moment to know that you won a race, and you'll have something to show for it other than the fact that you got to take that extra lap at the end and wave to the fans. You have that trophy to take home and maybe tell the grandkids about it or something. We have a real lineup of trophy cars today. Some custom 4x4s and all the way down to a mini truck 4x4. There's Greg Brown giving you a little wave, saying hi, folks. Looks like Greg has his whole fan club out there. They want to get in on the trophy presentation as well. And look at this, we have to have a step stool just to get out of the truck here. We're ready for another interview with Judy Palmer in the pit area.
I understand you're doing real well this racing season, Bob Harvey. Do you consider yourself a big shoe?
Well, not exactly. Myself and the crew have a lot of dedication, and we just put every effort we have into the race car and into driving, and it's really a team effort more than just an individual effort.
And is my understanding correct that you have a new car that you're going to be racing?
Yeah, about 8 weeks ago, the crew got together and built a chassis for me, and then individual in Eugene built a motor for me, and we put together a brand new car.
Great. Well, it's back to racing. Thank you.
Here we are back for the trophy presentation, and a very lovely young lady out to give Mike Batman his trophy presentation. As you saw, John Harvey receive his, and the photographer taking one for posterity here. This gives the drivers a chance to say, yeah, that's right, I did it. They'll take the photo home, put it in the photo album, and bring it out someday in the future and reminisce about those days, those racing days. Greg Brown receiving his trophy and a kiss. And we're coming back to Fair Race 84 at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Douglas County Fair Race 84. We've got Judy Palmer in the infield.
We try to keep all the cars going. If they get damaged, we rebuild them. We spend from anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day working on the cars if we have the time to do it, and if they're damaged to where we have to work on them.
You're going to head back and work in the crew right now?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
All right, we've got the B heat on tap now. Terry, who's in this race?
It's our first heat, be the first of 3.
Car number 36 is on the
Gene
pole.
Campus, On the outside is car 24, Linda Lustry. 86 car, Ron Rogers. Shelley Bennett on the outside of him. And we've got the K car, Bob Saley driving. 10 car, Rod Cox. And the 13 car, Skip Mark.
Off they go under the green flag. Skip Mark and the 13 cars you see just going out of our picture, but off into the lead goes the lady driver, Linda Lustry, and Shelley Bennett, another lady driver, hops up into second place. And our first heat looks to be a barn burner between the two gals.
These two really went at it in this event 2 weeks ago, last points race here.
And it looks like we have a problem on the track. One of the cars missing is the 13 car, Skip Mark. Now I notice the flagman has the yellow and the red out. Terry, what does that mean?
This will be a complete restart. The lap will not count at all. Cars will be started in the original position that they took the green in.
So the drivers have to complete one complete lap, without an accident or without a spin out or without some altercation, before they can continue without a complete restart. Now, of course, a complete restart means line up the way you were, and we'll go back to racing. It looked like Skip just seems to lose it and spin right down into the infield. Here's Judy Palmer on the infield.
Driver, what kind of emotions are going on right now before the race gets going?
Everybody's got butterflies out there, whether they'll admit it or not. But everybody has butterflies, and everybody wants to win.
Great. We'll get right to the races.
Thank you, Judy. It's great to have somebody down in the infield to bring us those in-depth interviews and find out what the drivers, pitmen, owners are all going through out there, because it is a tense moment. We had the green flag come out in the meantime, and we're back to auto racing, and the two gals jump out ahead on the whole pack. Linda Lustry in the 24 car, and you can see Shelley Bennett making a move on the outside. She'd like to get by and take off and lead the rest of the pack. Bob Saley in that K car moves up real fast on the inside. Saley makes a move on Shelley Bennett, can't quite get by. It's still Linda Lustry in the pink machine out in front of the number 24 car as they go by. What a tight race up in front for the first three positions. Here comes Bob Saley trying to get into the groove and maybe get on the outside and see if he can get around the two gals. They seem to be dicing back and forth and taking up a lot of track space. There goes Saley. He's got a little room on the inside. Looks like Saley's having a little trouble hooking up coming out of the corners, Terry. Those rear wheels seem to be spinning when he gets on the gas, and he can't get good traction to try and go by. Linda Lustry moves out a little bit. That leaves room for Saley. Saley goes on the inside. And Bob makes a fantastic pass. He's got the fast groove down low, out of turn 4, down the front straightaway in the lead from the white flag. Linda Lustry falls back to second, but that does not delete the heated battle going on for that second spot between Linda Lustry and Shelley Bennett. Here comes Bob Saley out of turn 4. What a lucky pass he made. And he collects a checkered flag and a win. Second place will go to the 24 car of Linda Lustry. Third place to 43, Shelley Bennett. There's a good look at a real fine race car. That's Bob Saley in the K car, the K's Auto Supply Super Stock car, which is just an example of the type of cars you're going to see here next week. Actually, this Friday.
This Friday we'll go into the Outlaw 100, our premier stock car event. We'll have cars from all over the West Coast.
Boy, when we say premier, we mean premier. It is a fantastic race. It's one thing that you should not miss if you're a racing club. You should be out here to see the Outlaw. We've got the latest in technology. The fastest cars come here from all over the West Coast. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, California, even Southern California. Since that seems to be a state apart. Race number 2 on the stock car card calls for the pole sitter. Number 11, who would he have?
Number 11 is Harlan Cox leading this. Outside of him is 99 car Rick Young. 6 Dale Hahn.
And Dale Hahn just passed the 99 car for second place and is challenging Harlan Cox for the lead. Hahn loses a little bit of ground on that backstretch. Who else do we have in that race, Terry? Looks like the 87
cars, Mike Ramsey.
87 Mike Ramsey doing a fine job in a real fine Nova race car. Number 80, Bill Talcott. Number 78 is who? Okay.
Ken Cope.
Looks like Ken Cope in the 70 car, 78 car. 22 is Gene Gamble Jr. And 88, Brad Watson. But Harlan Cox is doing a fine job out in front now. And we're about 4 laps into this 8-lap race, about halfway through. But the race is not over. There's Dale Hahn ready to jump on any mistake that Harlan Cox makes. Ricky Young in the 99 car trying to move up, but Mike Ramsey's on the inside there, and he's got the fast groove. Mike Ramsey, a vastly improved driver in the past few years. Started out with a slower car, worked his way up. He's got himself a real nice machine, the ex-Mike's Lyons machine, I understand.
Yes, it is. Car that Mike Lyons set what is a current track record in this Class M.
That track record is what?
The track record is 16:31. It's been held since 1981.
A 3-year-old track record set by that number 87 machine. Here's the white flag. One more lap to go. Harlan Cox has got to hold him off for one more lap. Dale Hahn jumping up there in second. He'd like to hold on to that for the points chase. Dale Hahn running one of the few Mopar races. Here's the checkered flag out. Checkered flag goes to our race winner, number 11 in the Corvette. That's Harlan Cox. And here's the winner of the last race with Judy Palmer.
Bob Staley, you just took control of that stock car heat race. What was the most exciting thing that happened out there?
Getting the lead there just in the nick of time on the last lap. That was the best part of the race.
Was there a lot of strategy that went into taking control in the last lap?
Just be careful. Try and stay out of trouble, save the car for the main, and still win.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Here we see the A stock cars now. They're the fast guys. They're lining up, forming the pack on the backstretch. They'd like to get a start first time around, but we see a couple of stragglers. Number 42, Gary Bennett there, moving up onto the end of the field. Our starter's going to let them bunch up and maybe have one extra lap to warm up. On the pole, we have number 40, Tim Smith. And on the outside, who is that on the outside, Terry?
Can't see the car.
I can't
from
see
here
a
for some
number.
reason.
Number 71. 71, Bill Ray in a brand new car for him. On the inside, that's Roy Harvey, who just took over second place. Roy Harvey in 17 challenges now Tim Smith for the lead. Harvey moves by Smith on the inside, and there's Bill Ray looking for that second spot, but Smith hangs tough on the outside. And he jumps back down into the groove to take back over second place. It was tight there for the first few corners. Tim Smith seems to have control once again. There's Harvey, Roy Harvey, jumping out to a slight lead down the front chute. Into turn number 1, we have Tim Smith in second in car number 40. There's Harvey in the beautiful 17 car, and that's a Ford for all you Ford lovers. Roy's been doing a great job. Nels Holt getting a little wild out of turn 4, and there's another Ford that does a fantastic job. That's a very sanitary car. Have you seen that car, Terry?
It's a beautiful car. A car that Nels built himself. This is his first season in it. It's been very, very impressive.
I understand he took about 2 years to build that car.
Yes, he did. Engineering in the car is excellent.
good to see an ex-autocross driver come out and participate in the rounds or oval track racing on the asphalt. Back to racing, we have Roy Harvey in first, Tim Smith in second, and look who's coming up to challenge for that second spot. The 07 point leader, Mike Batman, and they got together in turn 2 and went to the outside, but Mike Batman gets a good bite on the outside of the back chute and jumps into the lead. Here's Harlan Cohens moving up also. Cohens moves up into the 4th spot. Harlan Cohens used to race in Medford, now races here and lives here, has moved to Roseburg area. The 19 cars has spun out, causing a yellow flag. The 19 is Bud Miller. Bud Miller spins out in turn 2, brings out the yellow flag, and Bud takes her off into the infield. As the cars bunch up to the yellow flag, they'll restart in single file. We'll have Roy Harvey in the lead. Mike Batman in second place. That's number 18 of Harlan Cohens. And then Bill Ray in 71. We got Mike Bennett moving up there on the outside. And also we've got Jack Keck, Tim Smith, Nels Holt in that beautiful 86 car. And we've got Judy Palmer in the infield with an interview.
Harlan, you just won your heat, but I understand you're having some problems with your car.
Well, we blew it up last weekend and put a new motor in it yesterday and last night, and we just lost the oil pressure again. So if we can't get the oil pressure back up, that's it for us tonight.
And what would that mean for you?
New motor again.
That could be pretty depressing, huh? Where are you standing right now?
Well, we've been having motor problems all year long, so we're moving up fast in the points if we can keep it together.
All righty. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like Bud Miller's had some problems with tire or fuel cell or something has fallen out of the car. What an unfortunate thing to happen to a real nice racer in a real nice car. Green flag's back out on the restart. Roy Harvey jumps out to that lead, but look who's right behind him. Coming up on turn number 3, and that's Mike Batman in 07. White flag is out for the last lap of this race. As Harlan Cohens jumps into 3rd place, you can see him just flash by the bottom of your screen in number 18. Number 17 is Roy Harvey. You can see him working the steering wheel back and forth to keep that car straight. Mike Batman on the outside tries to pass for the win, but it looks like Roy Harvey's going to take the win in the number 17 Mustang. The race results are official. That's Roy Harvey taking the checker to win the fast heat race. Now let's go back to Judy Palmer.
Shelley, I understand you're 3rd overall in the season. How'd you do in your race?
Got 3rd.
And what does that mean for you?
Means that I get, probably 10 points for that race. That's about medium, you know.
And did you just have some work done on your car?
Yeah, we just had to put a new lower control arm and shock and brake line and everything in it from 2 weeks ago wreck.
And does that change anything for the season, or you just keep going for it until something else happens?
Just keep going for it.
Okay, and we'll be right back after a station break.
Welcome back to the Douglas County Fairgrounds Auto Racing 84. Brought to you by PRA, that's Pacific Racing Association, supplying the action today. We have the first heat for the sprint cars, and on the pole is the number 32 car of Arnie DeWald, and the outside is the 17 of Greg Benson. The 80 car in the inside of the second row will be Jim Stanley. Outside of the second row, Kevin Etchison in the 78. Number 13 in the beautiful black car, 3rd row inside, Ted Doremus. Number 96, Gene Tomlinson. And in the 7 car, that's Vic Bridges. Yes, indeed, Vic Bridges in the 7 car. As the cars flash by, they receive the green flag. Jim Stanley from the 2nd row jumps out in front in the 80 car. What a beautiful sprint car. Second place is 32, and that's Arnie DeWald. And Ted Doremus moves up into third, but they're still dicing. You can see them come into their picture. We still see Jim Stanley out in front now. He has about a half a straightaway lead, sideways into turn 1, into turn 2, and down the back straightaway he goes as he's lengthening that lead. It's now almost a full straightaway. Back in second place, we have a real tight race, and we get hooked up into turn 3 and a spit out. You can see the crash there on your screen. Ted Doremus and number 17, Greg Benson. As they got together in turn 3, right in the middle of turn 3 and turn 4, Greg Benson is dead on the track. Now we have Jim Stanley gets a chance to rest, and we're going to go to the infield, I presume. Here we go. Yeah, Judy Palmer.
Wes, what is it that you need to accomplish during this race?
I'd like to win. Show everybody I can do it.
And what is the situation with the sprint cars? Is it speed or what?
Open wheel is a lot different. You get pretty good speed going up, a lot more than the stock cars. And it's more dangerous with the wheels being open like this.
Good luck. We wish you the best.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. That's an interview with Wes Kelly from Eugene and his beautiful A&A plating sprinter. We'd like to see him do real well today here.
Wes has been a competitive driver. He didn't race here last season. He's back in his new car this season.
Terry, I see a lot of cars from out of town.
Yes, this class is a very elite class. It's not run in a lot of tracks. These guys do travel a bit. They've been to 3 out-of-town shows already this season as a group. They'll attend, I understand there's 2 more scheduled.
Well, speaking of an elite class, is this the only track in Oregon that races sprint cars?
For a points chase, yes, it is.
Well, that's quite a feat that the sprint cars race here in Roseburg, the only track in the state of Oregon that races a regular schedule of sprint cars. And we're awful lucky to be able to see him here today. Jim Stanley in the front. Arnie DeWald in the second place car, number 32, as we see him on your screen right in the center, number 3 spot. Taken over by Kevin Etchison. Let me get my tongue unwound here. And I saw the flagman give Ted Doremus a little warning.
I couldn't tell who he directed that at, either Ted or Kevin.
Well, the flagman seems to have good control of the track, and if you're doing something wrong, the flagman's going to be able to rectify that problem, and it could be that you might get into a little trouble, too, as has happened to Ted Doremus as he goes to the back of the pack. That puts Greg Benson back up in 4th place. And look, right there in 5th place is the number 7 car. That's Vic Bridges. Here we see Gene Tomlinson in a new car this year. He's a new driver, out to get a little experience and be able to step up. The green flag is back out. We're back to racing. Jim Stanley still in the lead. Arnie DeWald and Kevin Etchison moves to the inside. You're seeing it right there live. Kevin Etchison moves to the inside to take over 2nd spot. What a nice pass, Terry.
Won the main here last week, last year's track champion. 2 very experienced drivers at the front of this pack.
And that experience shows as he moves by Arnie DeWald to take over 2nd spot. Sideways out of turn number 4, they come down the front straightaway. And we have another car spun out in turn 3. That's Arnie DeWald, number 32, who was running in the 3rd spot. Will line up the way they were a lap ago as they circle until Arnie DeWald gets started again. Now, why is it so hard to get these cars going, Terry?
These cars don't have clutches in them. They just won't start without a push, direct drive.
They do have a starter, though.
They do have a starter. They've got a neutral gear that they can start the engine for adjustments.
And we're going to go back down to the pit area. Here's Judy Palmer.
Gary, you're in 2nd place now in the season. What do you need to do tonight to try to change that?
Well, I need to win, really, or finish ahead of the guy that's in 1st place.
What kind of points do you need to chalk up?
Oh, I need to get about 10 on him tonight.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Fine job out in the pit area with all the action as the cars come down the straightaway and get the green flag. We're back to racing. We've got 5 laps down in this race. And they'll be racing for an 8-lap heat race. Kevin Etchison got a little sideways there and drops back into 3rd place. Greg Benson hops up in there into 2nd as we see Jim Stanley, and he collects the white flag out into turn number 2. Down the back straightaway he goes. Jim Stanley with half a straightaway lead over Greg Benson in 17th. And then Kevin Etchison. Kevin got just a little bit too far to the inside. Lost traction and almost spun it out. As Kevin charges to try to take over 2nd, can't quite do it. The checkered flag falls for our race winner in the B heat, and that's Jim Stanley. 2nd place, Greg Benson. Kevin Etchison in 3rd. Out on the track now, we have the A heat forming, and that is the faster cars. Is that right, Terry?
That's correct. These are the fastest, I believe, to be 8 cars.
8 cars for 8 laps. The flagman gives them a chance to get out, get their tires warmed, get their engines warmed up, get the gears all meshing very well, and get the oil hot. So they'll be ready to race when the green flag falls. Let's go to the infield.
Dick, what are all you guys in the striped shirts doing?
We're officials out here.
And what's the responsibilities of the officials?
Well, you have pit bosses, assistant pit bosses. We work up the lineups, get the cars out on time, you know, just kind of organize it.
And what happens if the cars don't get out on time?
A lot of confusion. People get mad. Fans aren't happy. You know, the show's out here. It's for the fans, you know.
Okay, go to work.
Thank you.
Racers are forming. Racers are forming down the backstretch. We can see on our screen now. We see car number 75 on the inside. Eddie Minter doing a fine job in the sprints. On the outside is Claire Morgan, the 3rd. As they get the green flag, we've got Wes Kelly in the 2nd row, and we have a tangle in turn number 1. Look out, we got cars all over the place. Off the track they go, the safest place to get away from a crash or a possible injury to yourself or bent parts or what have you. Some way to get away from a crash or a tangle, and so you can continue in the races. Now that tangle can happen awfully easy in the open wheel cars for the simple reason they have open wheels. What happens, Terry? Well, we'll have that right when we come back. We're going to take a commercial time out right now. We'll be back to Auto Racing 84. We're back racing, but we're going to go down to the infield for Judy Palmer in an interview.
So, and you're one of the owners of these cars, and what does that mean for you?
Oh, just mutual interest with everybody, the drivers and all the other owners, so to speak.
Well, when you pick a guy to sponsor, how do you choose them?
Well, we just help them financially and do a lot of work on the cars.
Super, thank you very much.
Racing action, you're seeing it right here. Rick Brown in the number 33, that beautiful orange machine out of Eugene, another out-of-town driver in front as he jumped out to lead about 1 lap after the green flag. 2nd place belongs now to Gordy Smith in the beautiful number 11 car. You're seeing Wes Kelly, I'm sorry, Claire Morgan the 3rd, and Ronnie Hine battle it out. Right now in 3rd place in the 75 cars, Eddie Minter. There's Rick Brown right now in the 33 car down the backstretch. 2nd place is, things are happening so fast, places are changing so quickly, it's hard to keep up with it. Here we see Ronnie Hine, and behind him is Claire Morgan the 3rd. Behind them is a good battle for 5th spot, and that's Mark Kosmicki and Wes Kelly, and Greg Brown in the 44 car in the back of the field. Here's Rick Brown. What a beautiful machine. This car, I understand, is quite a few years old too, Terry.
One of Don Hines' old cars. You know it?
That name is familiar to all of you race fans here, and the checkered flag falls for that beautiful orange car, the number 33, Quick Rick Brown.
Rick's a 4-time track champion here in this particular car and class. He is this season's point leader.
Rick's held the track record twice here at Roseburg. Now let's go down to the infield for an interview.
Bob, you built Mike Batman's motor. What kind of motor is it?
It's a 355 Chevy, 30 over.
And does that make it a real strong engine, I mean, compared to the others?
Yes, it's a good economy motor, low dollar motor, and works good, and that's what this racing's out here is all about.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're back up to racing. You can see the cars coming out on the track now. Will be the heat races for the Jalopies. Now, after all the other competitors have their heat races, the Jalopies get out here last. Why is that, Terry?
Well, they tend to leave a lot of debris on the track. Crashing definitely, these cars just are torn apart. You'll be able to see that in just a few minutes here.
We wouldn't want, apparently the drivers and crews and owners don't want the more expensive cars then to pick up debris and cause a problem, maybe cause a blown tire or something, and from a little piece of glass or something of that sort, cause one of those more expensive cars to be demolished from a little piece like that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the general idea behind that.
Okay, we see number 44, Roy Wayne Harvey, and the 86 car helping out, giving a little push to 44 as they go in the infield. Let's go back down to the infield.
Don, I noticed there's a few accidents out there with the J cars tonight. What happened?
Looked like 96 lost the axle, and somebody else spun out down here in third and fourth turn.
Does that throw the entire race off?
Not for the J cars on a trophy dash usually. We only go about 6 laps.
Is speed the main thing in the Jalopy cars, or just finishing?
Just finishing.
Great, thank you.
And that's one way to find out exactly what it's like out there in the infield. Judy Palmer doing a fantastic job. In this J car heat, we have on the pole AJ. That's Brad Watson. On the outside, looks like 84, Keith Whitaker. On the inside, John Chapano in the 30. Number 66 is Jenny Harvey. Pardon me, another lady driver, Jenny Harvey at 66. The number 27 car is Wes Roberts. And who else do we have in this race? Looks like on the outside of 27, we have a car there. It's hard to see the number. 31 or 11, something of that sort.
Well, he's not on my roster here. I got a correction on the AJ car. That's the owner of the car driving. That's Aaron Fuchs.
That's
AJ Fuchs.
AJ Fuchs on the pole. And the green flag goes out. And that other car, we couldn't find the number, was 01. 01. And I don't see a listing for the 01 car. Look out, we have action on the backstretch. Cars spinning around, that's 27. And the 20 car actually caused that. I don't have a listing for the 20 car either, so I can't tell you who is in that. Car 84 spun out on turn number 3. It's Keith Whitaker, and he's just sitting there high and dry. Here they come around. Look out. We don't want to have a head-on crash. They are seat belted in very tightly, so if a crash does occur, it will cause minimal or no injury to the driver. Of course, you can see roll bars are in every car. That's a safety requirement. AJ Fuchs doing a fine job out in front, off into turn 2. There goes the 86 car. Look out, that's Gary Winke. And he gets hit by 84. Look out, 89. And they're all over the place. Look out, right on the front stretch. You see the 03 car. Raul Bourbon spun out right there, loses a tire. He gets tangled up. This looks like fun. The white flag is out, 1 lap to go. AJ Fuchs is in the lead. But, oh no, as he gets crashed off the track, and the 30 car, John Chapano, takes over the lead. John Chapano, the points leader. We got tires all over the place. Around turn 4 comes John Chapano through the smoke. Raul doing a fine job of clouding the track.
Suppose Raul doesn't realize that he's lost his axle there.
That must be it. Some of these drivers may think they've just blown a tire, but in actuality, you can't get any power to the ground without an axle.
Oh, there it goes. It's going to move.
He found a little traction someplace going backwards.
There he stopped.
Well, it's not too good a thing to have that bare metal rubbing on the track, is it?
No, we don't need grooves in the track.
So winner of the B heat race is John Chapano. We'll be back with more Auto Racing 84 in just a moment.
What you guys are doing on this car right now?
Well, we were setting the timing again because it was running pretty bad, and we need to set it again.
What does that entail?
Well, it just it starts backfiring and stuff, and you know, we just had to reset it.
Does it take a lot of training to be able to do that?
I don't know, not really.
Okay, you just go to it and just is it a matter of hearing it, or can you check it mechanically?
Well, you have a timing light, and you got to time it to the light, and it just.
No other problems though. Other than that, the car's doing just fine.
Well, yeah, the filter for the gas has been getting plugged up because our gas tank has stuff in it.
And does this car usually have these problems, or is this something new?
Well, it
looks like they want you to go back to work. Sorry about that.
Okay.
and we can see the hook over there to help out towing off some cars, some disabled cars. We've got the tow trucks, D&D Towing, out here to help PRA out as they do every week, helping a disabled car 03 Raul Bourbon, and also D&D has 2 trucks down in turn number 2 to help out a car that went off the track and was unable to get underway. Auto racing, being a hobby, does require cash, green dollars. Isn't that right, Terry?
Lots of it. You're not going to make it in the earnings to support the investment in most of these cars.
Well, then how do these drivers maintain their hobby?
Many businesses become involved in these cars and sponsoring them because of either their interest or wanting their name in front of the people that attend these events, and very well supported by the local merchants here.
Well, we'll be watching these cars and drivers very closely in the next few weeks as the points battle closes. But coming up day after tomorrow, we have what kind of a race?
Day after tomorrow?
That's the Outlaw 100. Right, Outlaw 100. We got it straight. And that's for what kind of car?
That'll be a super stock race. It'll be August 4th and 5th.
August 4th and 5th? Okay. Is that actually a 100-lap race?
No, it isn't. We'll run 2 50-lap main events, 1 per night.
It gives the drivers a chance to change tires and gas up between 50 lappers, then. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
I understand we have Judy Palmer back in the infield.
John, I couldn't tell. Did you win that last race?
I think so, but it's hard to tell the way we race. There's cars everywhere, and you don't really know for sure where you're at until you find out from the people up in the crow's nest.
Isn't there a beginning point at any point, and you know if you came in front of the other person?
Yeah, but you never can tell because you can spin out and get turned back around and going again before before everybody passes you, and you'll still be on the same lap, but you won't know if you won or not. There'll be cars all around you.
And what's the difference between getting the first and the second as far as your points go?
I don't really know for sure about that. You get more points for first than you do for second and on down the line.
And how are you standing right now?
I'm second overall in points.
All right, and that's what kind of car is it that you're driving?
J car.
Okay, and is that just for this race, or is that over the season?
Well, it's over the season. We're having a open comp race coming up here in about 2 weeks for big money, but it won't be points.
Super, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like the tow tracks have all the cars cleared from the raceway, and the next race is coming out on the track. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of Pacific Racing Association's fair race from the 1984 Douglas County Fair. We'll be back with more auto racing in just a moment.
You'll find lumber and a whole lot more all under one roof at City Lumber and Builders Supply, including solid wood or vinyl paneling and molding from Roseburg Lumber, Georgia Pacific, and more. You'll also find doors and windows by Anderson, International, and Royal Oak, as well as everything for the large or small, commercial or do-it-yourself building project, plus extremely helpful service. All at City Lumber and Builders Supply, Roseburg's most complete building supply center, 3005 Diamond Lake Boulevard.
Everything goes during the clearance sale at Roseburg Toyota. And to prove they mean business, you pay only $1 over dealer invoice plus dealer installed options on any new 1984 Toyota pickup truck, including 4-wheel drives. Plus, 99 down on owner-approved credit is all you need to drive away in the new Toyota truck of your choice. Think of it, only 99 down on a truck, priced at only $1 over invoice. You bet they mean business. Save like never before during the big clearance sale now at Roseburg Toyota, 1240 Southeast Stevens.
You're watching KPIC TV, Roseburg.
Oh boy, we got cars all over the place on the green flag, the start of the race, but we're not going to have a restart. It seems the J cars just want to get out there and slam bang it all over the racetrack. In this race, we have the race leader, number 52, and that is Gene Cannon. And he seems to be out there ready to go. He wants us to be sure everybody gets to see the wild J cars, because it is a sight to behold. Number 88, and that is Brad Watson in second place right now. You can see it in the center of your screen. The third place car, 06, that's Don Taggart. And the 10 car is Gary Tuttle. As we have a spin out over in turn number 4, and I can hardly see the number. There's so much smoke and dust. A couple of cars are saying hello. Well, hello to you too. That's John Harvey, and number 24 is Jim Alberding. There's no yellow flag in this race. Number 21, Danny Meals, doing a good job, but he's a little bit back in the pack. I'm looking for the race leader, which is 52 as far as I have it counted. Gene Cannon. Oh, and a big crash right in turn number 4. The number 98 car, Charles Bond, just smashed the 77 car of Larry McKnight right in the left rear quarter panel, bent the axle. The tire looks flat. But Larry is continuing, and the race leader spins out on the background, on the back stretch, and off the turn 4 goes up on the hump. Oh, gee whiz. Number 98, Charles Bond, off into the bicycle motocross track. The white flag comes out, and it looks like Brad Watson has inherited the lead to the best of our account. Number 6, Don Taggart, is pushing there in second, and there goes John Harvey as he tags Don Taggart. Around goes Taggart. Taggart trying to get in back in the race, and here comes number 88, Brad Watson, to take the checkered flag.
Brad's the points leader here. He's also in the top 10 in the stock car class this season. He drives in both.
Well, if that isn't excitement in auto racing, I don't know what to say. Brad Watson survives that whole event, the A heat race, and comes out in the lead. We'll go to the infield. Here's Judy Palmer.
You've been around the racetrack since the 50s. Is it possible to do this for a living, or what is it?
Oh, I don't think so around a local track like this. You're not going to make much of a living off of it.
So what is it that people get out of it?
Just a lot of fun. That's what we're here for. We're here to have a lot of fun.
And do you race yourself? Have you raced at all?
No, well, I used to drag race in the 60s, late 50s and 60s, but I never did try it on the circle.
Is it for big kids or little kids?
I think it's for all of us. We've got some young ones out here, and we've got some of the older ones here, and everybody's still having fun at it.
And what do you think attracts the people to the races?
Oh, everybody likes something different. Some like to see a wreck. Some like to see a good race, tight race. Everybody has something a little bit different that they like to see.
Super, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Judy. Good to hear from Red Linson. Out on the track now, or rather in the infield, we have the cars forming for the main events. There's a good look at part of the crowd that is attended the auto races at Fair Race 84. What a crowd we have, standing room only. People are having a hard time finding a place to sit down, and they are a very receptive crowd. This is the largest crowd of the year for these racers.
Yes, it is every season.
Now, let's hypothetically, let's say I was racing one of these super stocks, and on the second lap of a 10-lap race, I picked up a little piece of glass from the Jalopys and cut a tire. What would I have to do?
Well, if you made a pit stop, which these guys will avoid at all costs,
Well,
you would lose position.
You say they avoid a pit stop. Why is that?
Too short a track. Pit stops during an event are designed for the long tracks, long races. So 2.5 mile speedways. We got a quarter mile here. Even a quick pit stop could put you down 3, 4, 5 laps.
So that's an insurmountable deficit to make up. We would have to be in the Grand Nationals to have a pit stop. Okay, let's go back down to the infield.
Carway, huh? Brad, you were just won that heat race, but there was a major accident out here. What happened?
Oh, I don't know. On J cars, it's hard to tell, you know.
Were you part of it, or did you get ahead of it, or what happened?
I think I was a little bit ahead of that wreck there.
Isn't that kind of frightening when you get in that accident situation?
No, I've been racing them for a long time, and it doesn't scare me, no.
And I do notice there's a lot of wrecks in that particular type of racing. What is it that you guys get out of it?
Oh, it's just a good thrill, you know. I mean, pay a lot of insurance and stuff to drive on the street, you know. And
I think they're calling you right over there. I think you better get back.
Now we're back to racing in the B main event. We have out there on the pole in the number 90. Who is that, Terry? In the stock cars, number 90. It looks like Bruce Latta, and he's in the lead right now. You can see the second place is 36. That's Gene Campus in second place. Now Linda Lustre, and there's that same battle between the two ladies for third and fourth place. Shelley Bennett on the outside seems to have a little advantage down the backstretch. But Linda Lustre has the fast groove on the inside as Gene Campos pushes Shelley Bennett to the outside, and she falls back to fifth place. Gene Campos falls back to fourth, and Linda Lustre moves right up into third. Well, I take that back. It looks like we have number 90, Bruce Latta, out in front. Back farther, we have in fourth or fifth place, that's car number 10 of Rod Cox. Number 36, Gene Campbell's just been passed by Rod, and he's as Gene falls back another position. Number 99 is Ricky Young, and Bob Saley came out late, but he did make it before he got a lap down. So he is in this race still. This is a main event, so it's going to go a few laps longer.
A very important main event. First and second place cars, completion of this will move into the feature. Everybody's trying to be there for the A main event.
Well, it looks like we have Ron Rogers out in front in the number 86 car. And Shelley Bennett gets by as Bruce Latta has sputted out in turn 3 or 4. Sits high and dry, and we've got a yellow flag. We lost Bruce Latta as he came around. Shelley Bennett and Linda Lustre sitting in the 1 and 2 spots, and Ron Rogers was trying to make up a lap, and he falls into the back of the line. A good look at some of the cars that you're going to see in the Outlaw 100 coming up on Friday night. Friday and Saturday, a 2-day event. Now, will that Saturday race be a Saturday night race, Terry, or a Saturday day race?
It's Saturday night, man.
It'll be Saturday night. So we'll have a Friday and Saturday night race for the Outlaw 100. Here's Judy in the infield.
We got to stand here just for a second. He'll give us a cue, and then we can start talking, okay? Riley, what does an 11-year-old boy do out here at the races?
We pit, change tires and rear ends, and take things apart and put them back together and get in trouble a lot.
What kind of experience do you have?
Well, not much. Just that my dad's taught me what he knows.
And how many years have you been doing this?
About 3.
And is there something to learn new every year?
Yeah.
What did you learn this summer?
Well, this summer I learned how to take off a rear end and put it back together.
And are you looking forward to racing yourself?
Yeah. Right now I race motorcycles.
Great, thank you.
Boy, that's a great way to start. 11 years old, and you can get all the experience you need out here. We're back under the green flag. Bruce Latta on the inside, Shelley Bennett on the outside. Shelley has the slower line to the outside. If she's not careful, it's good to get up in the marbles and do a little slip and slide out there. But she passes Bruce Latta for the lead. Coming Coming up on the outside now is Bob Saley in the K car. He's passed Rod Cox for third, and now passes Bruce Latta down the back stretch very handily, back up into second. Down the front stretch we go. There's Shelley, right in the middle of your screen. Shelley Bennett in that beautiful 43 Camaro with Bob Saley coming up very quickly in the back. And there goes Bob Saley on the inside, and he has position going into turn number 3. Saley gets by on the inside. Into the first spot goes the K car. As you remember, Bob Saley came out here a little bit late. He did not go a lap down, but he is in the lead right now. He came all the way from a half a lap deficit to lead the race, and it's a very important race for Bob. He'd like to get up into that A main event. How does that work, Terry? If the first two drivers...
The first two drivers will be the back 2 cars at the start of the A main.
So that gives them a chance to get out and do some more racing, maybe win a little bit more money, and gain valuable points. There's Shelley Bennett in second spot. And there's the interval between the two. Bob Saley just goes by. And there goes Shelley Bennett. I have it about 4 seconds. Bob Saley has about a 4-second lead, and it's ever widening. Skip Mark in the 13 car doing a fantastic job. Skip's the next dirt track driver. He's raced all over the Northwest. Doing a fine job here today in the number 13 Buick, or Oldsmobile, excuse me, Skip. I'm sure I'll hear about that one. As Saley goes around the outside of Skip Mark, off into turn 1 they go. Saley taking a wide berth. He doesn't want to have any problems result from inadvertent crash or maybe being pushed off to the outside. That would definitely ruin his chances of getting up into the A main event. And there we have the checkered flag falls just as Bob Saley tries to go around Gene Campos and Linda Lestry and Skip Mark. The white flag for everyone else, and the winner right on your screen now. That's the K car out of Riddle, Bob Saley. What a nice sight we see as the A main feature event for stock cars forms out of turn 4. Down the front chute, we have a green flag, Dale Hahn. And Brad Watson leads the charge of the Super Stocks down the front straightaway. Under the green we go. It's Dale Hahn with an early lead. Brad Watson falls to second. And Bill Talcott is in fourth. We have the 78 car. Falls in third. Mike Ramsey right behind him. And the cars are searching for their position right now. 78 car being Ken Cope. That beautiful Camaro. He's right now has passed Brad Watson into second place. And it gets a little bit what we call squirrely, where the rear end tends to drift, the rear end of the car. You can see him crank on that steering wheel to keep the car straight as down the backstretch they go. What a good clean start. 3 cars wide into turn number 3. Roy Harvey gets pushed off to the inside. There's a good shot of Coospace Jack Keck, and Brad Watson gets a little wide off on, here he goes, right over turn number 2. He's going to continue off down the dirt at the backstretch and see if he can get back into the race. Looks like he's going to succeed without going a lap down. Very important. He'd like to finish up and get some more stock car points and maybe win a little extra money too. One car I see moving up, and that is Harlan Cohen's in the 18 car.
Harlan's right on Jack there. If Jack opens up some holes for him, you expect him to follow him right through, and he's passed him.
Mike Ramsey gets a little wide and gets tangled up with Roy Harvey. We've got Jack Keck, about 4 or 5 cars right on the front straightaway, and a little puff of smoke comes out of Harlan Cohen's car. We have Bob Saley on fire, it looks like. Bob Saley puncturing an oil line, perhaps, and we have some heavy smoke. let's correct that. It looks like steam, thank goodness.
Wayne, how many of these cars do you think make it back for the green?
Well, I will venture to guess we'll have 3 of the 5 back to racing, at least 3. And very, very good to see that these cars are built strong enough to take this type of a crash. That's an unfortunate thing. Probably one got hooked up on the bumper of another and started a chain reaction. Of course, at racing speed, we don't have time to shift down and slow down and watch for the flares and go off around into the next lane like we do maybe on the freeway or in town someplace.
Things happen real fast out there. You're coming into the straightaway, they're probably averaging 80 miles an hour or better.
Well, let's say if a car is going around the track at 16 seconds, what would be an average speed?
65 miles an hour is your average speed around the track.
And say a top speed down the straightaway of?
95.
About 95 miles an hour.
And that's where this class falls time-wise.
Very impressive. It doesn't look that fast from the stands, but when you're inside one, it surely is. Let's go down to the infield to Judy Palmer.
Bob, does the weather have anything to do with the track?
Yes, and quite a bit. It has a hell of an effect on your car.
And this week in particular, at this race, is it having any major effect?
Yes, the cars are pushing bad in the corners.
Okay, what does pushing bad in the corners mean?
You can let him explain. He knows more about it. I'm a rookie.
The front end will drift up in the corners if you get on your throttle because you can't get your tires to bite. The track is real cold.
And so what's the difference between it being hot and being cold on the track?
The hotter the track gets, the better your tires bite and the more traction you've got.
So the guys would rather race in the heat than in the cold?
Well, yes, with our street tire rule, if we could run a slick like an EC82, it wouldn't affect us.
And the wreck that you were just in, was that part of the, did it have to do with the track, or was that in driving?
I would say mostly in driving. The car in front of me was going slower than I was. I put on the brakes, but my brakes didn't react as soon as he was slower than I was, and when I put on the brakes, I rear-ended him.
Let's hope you don't have any more accidents tonight.
Thank you.
And here we are back in the booth. Judy giving us some good in-depth study of auto racing and how things go. Linda Lustry out there in the pits with Judy Palmer. They're talking about pushing or drifting. Sometimes you'll see a car come out of the corner with the wheels cocked all the way to the left, hard left, but the car still wants to go straight. And that's called an understeer condition, or the car is pushing. It wants to push right off the track. Sometimes you'll see a car come around the corner with the rear end drifting wide, and that is called an oversteer condition, or the rear end wants to oversteer the front end and wants to come around and cause you to spin out. Those are a couple of terms that are very familiar to race car drivers. We're going to take a break now. We'll be back with more Auto Racing 84 at the Douglas County Fair. We'll be back in a moment.
Has your car turned into a lemon with bad performance or economy? Or maybe it needs a major repair? At Roseburg Auto Supply, we offer performance and economy parts for do-it-yourselfers, such as carburetors, manifolds, cams, and headers, engine and brake parts, filters, ignition products, belts, and hoses, import and domestic parts and accessories, new and rebuilt parts, all at discount prices. So if your lemon is letting you down, turn it into a peach by visiting Roseburg Auto Supply, 1239 Southeast Stevens, your do-it-yourself car care store, open 7 days a week. You'll find lumber and a whole lot more all under one roof at City Lumber and Builder Supply, including electrical supplies such as light bulbs, switches, circuit testers, circuit breakers, fuses, and all-gauge wires. You'll also find plumbing supplies such as hot water heaters, Delta faucets, pipe insulation, and much, much more. Everything for the do-it-yourselfer and commercial builder is at City Lumber and Builder Supply, Roseburg's most complete building supply center, 3005 Diamond Lake Boulevard. In any business, experience is what counts. At Fowler's Auto Body, you can count on Marv DeVogue, who has 13 years of body and paint experience. The crew at Fowler's Auto Body specializes in custom work. This Dodge van was customized for a local logger's needs. Fowler's now has full-time certified mechanics on duty to take care of your engine repairs, tune-ups, brakes, and front-end problems. Call Jerry Fowler or Doris Kramer for free estimates at your place or ours. Fowler's Auto Body on Diamond Lake Boulevard, across from Kowloon's Restaurant.
You guys are just getting ready to go into the race. What kind of strategies do you use?
Get in front and stay in front.
try and get through the pack and stay out of trouble seems to be the main thing right now. Got to finish them to win them.
And what do you concentrate on just before the race?
Just not much. Just
Oh, you kind of eye your competition, see if they're having any problems or maybe something that you could get a little jump on. Eye your competition.
I understand you're the mad racer. Is that true?
Oh, some people say that. That's Stanley says I am, but tonight he's been the mad racer so far.
That's good to hear from Ted Doremus in the black uniform, Greg Benson in the white uniform out in the infield. Let you know a little bit of what it's like just before the race. Big butterflies and a lot of wondering how it's going to turn out. It seems we have the crash just about cleaned up on the front straightaway. Harlan Cohen's a little bent up, but nonetheless for the wear seems to be able to compete again. That's one. And I noticed Jack Keck took off the bent fiberglass in the front, and he's back continuing. That's two. Roy Harvey sits on the hook on the front straightaway. As you can see, he has a flat tire, and the tow truck starts to take him away now. The other cars involved, Mike Ramsey, he's back in it. There you see that flat tire on Roy Harvey's racer, that Ford Mustang. Harlan Cohen's fiberglass bent a little bit, maybe a bent bumper or two, but the rest of the car seems to be okay. Looks like he'll continue. Bob Saley seems to be the only casualty, as I believe the crash took out his radiator. So we'll have 4 of the 5 cars back racing. That's still a pretty good result from a crash like that, Terry.
That's a good average on a crash like that. Some of these look a lot worse than they are damaging to the cars. It's not unusual for all the cars to return, even a similar crash.
We saw a sight of a young race fan a little bit earlier, perhaps a soon-to-be racer. As we look back in time, some of the racers who started here, what one big name comes to mind?
Well, it'd have to be Art Pollard, track champion here several times and killed at Indianapolis.
I believe that was 1968. Did Art start here on this track?
As far as I know, Wayne, that's quite a ways behind before me.
Well, I just happen to have some information on Art here right in front of me. Art did start racing here in Roseburg, however, at the old track that happened to be down in the green area, or just east of the green area on Old Speedway Road. And when it was a dirt track, soon after that was a paved track. The type of cars at that time they raced were called hardtops. They were what we might call a sprint car now. However, they raced 6-cylinder engines, and the drivers sat right out in the air and had skinny tires, but nonetheless they were racing to the best of their ability. Cars are starting back, forming once again. They will start a one-line restart. And since this is after the first lap, we want to have the cars all lined up and bumper to bumper supposedly, so they can get a fair start racing the way they were when the accident happened. We're going to go to the infield. Let's talk with Judy Palmer.
Dave, is there a big difference between seeing the action from the infield and up in the grandstand?
Yes, there is. You get a lot closer view of the action, you know, as far as sitting in the grands. You see a lot too, but I think you see quite a bit down here too.
And by being down here, I mean, you guys are right up on the sides. Isn't that a little bit dangerous?
It is, yeah. They tell you to get back. You got to stand back behind the poles.
What just happened out there? There was a pretty big accident.
Car spun out, and they just get it going too fast, piled right into each other.
In that case, what are the responsibilities of the other drivers when a wreck happens?
Just to look out, you know. You got to drive defensively too, you know.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Cars coming back down the front straightaway, and Dale Hahn in the lead. Flag starter gives them a one-lap signal, which means let's bring her up to speed. And Terry, we have Roy Harvey made a tire change, made one of those quick pit stops, quick as possible, and he's back out to race. Back to the back of the pack he goes since he was involved in the accident. Here they come. Out of turn 4, down the front straightaway, and they're back racing under the green. And Ken Cope, look out, Ken is a little bit hot into turn number 2, spins it out. Jack Keck spins it out at the same time. We've got 2 cars just on the apron to the infield. The yellow comes out once again. I take that back. We have no yellow. We have no yellow. The cars are off the racing surface. So off they go, racing again. Jack Keck spins out in turn 4. We got cars coming hot out of 4. Look out. As they climb on the brakes and try to go around without a crash. Everybody by safely. Mike Ramsey almost climbing a wheel. Jack Keck obviously having some handling problems due to the wreck on the front straightaway 1 lap ago. It'll take him a little time to get used to driving that race car again. Ken Cope stuck on the back stretch. There's a picture of Jack as he gets underway again. Front end was stuck high and dry on the bank, and that bank is an important part to this racetrack as it protects the infield participants from a possible spin out or a car climbing that bank, maybe going to the infield. If there wasn't a bank there, a car could easily run through the infield, and I have seen cars go through the infield, even over the bank.
You've got to be wide awake if you're going to be out there on your toes all the time.
One basic rule is never turn your back on a race car. One crash that comes to mind was Ace Kabisky. Chuck Kabisky races here quite a bit. His father driving a race car. That's when the announcer's booth was back in the infield and the stands were wooden many years ago. Ace Kabisky came out of turn 4, a little bit too hot, spun it sideways, climbed the bank, and did 4 cartwheels through the infield, right past the announcer's stand. The announcer was looking at the fuel tank as it went by, and the announcer was about 10 feet off the ground at that time. That car did 4 cartwheels, that is standing on end, say nose to tail. 4 cartwheels, landed on its wheels on the inside, and a tribute to the safety precautions taken on the cars. Ace unbuckled, walked out, climbed out of the race car, and walked off to the pit.
Dave, I just noticed you were changing a tire. How crucial is that during a race?
Well, so they don't lose no laps, and
what is it you try to do? I mean, is it timing or?
Timing, so you don't lose no laps and get out there quicker.
What's a good time for getting a tire off and getting another one on?
About 30 seconds.
Great. Thank you very much. Better go back to work.
Okay, thank you.
As the flagman climbs back up in the starter's booth, the cars come back down the front straightaway. The starter says, yes, we're going to have one more warm-up lap, and then we're going to go back to racing. As the lineup stands now, we have Dale Hahn, the 46 car, in the lead. In second place, you see number 18, Harlan Cohens, with a bent fiberglass work on the front of that car. 07, Mike Batman in third place. 42, Gary Bennett, who needs to have a big points night tonight, sitting in fourth place. But we have a yellow flag, which means slow down a little bit. We're not going to go race. We're waiting for Jack Keck involved in the crash. He has come back out on the track now. Will reform. So we will look to see Harlan Cohens drop back to second spot. Back to the lineup, car 40 is Tim Smith as he comes into your screen now. There's Gary Bennett also, Gene Gamble 22, Nels Holt in 86, Bill Ray in 71, Shelley Bennett in 42, Mike Ramsey in number 87. We've got quite a field for this race. Roy Harvey 17, Bill Talcott 80, 88 is Brad Watson, and the green flag is out again. Back to racing, Tim Smith stalls on the front straightaway, hope he can coast out to the pits. Something happened to that car, and he is stuck in the middle of turn 1. We have Jack Keck up on the bank on turn 4. Surprising developments all at once. Jack Keck, what a furious ride up the bank. you can see that bank kept him from going into the pits and possibly crashing into the cars, maybe hurting some of the pit participants.
Didn't see what happened there for sure, Wayne. It's possible he's got some problem from the crash he was involved in.
Well, I think Jack is having handling problems. In that crash, could have bent the steering or even bent suspension, something of that sort. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of Pacific Racing Association's fair race from the 1984 Douglas County Fair. We'll be back with more racing in just a moment. The green flag fell and we're back. Harlan Cohens jumps into the lead with Mike Batman moving up into second place. Gary Bennett passes Dale Hahn also for the third spot. Three of the fastest cars on the track now in the lead. There goes Harlan Cohens. You see Nels Holt on your screen as he goes behind that Ford. Now sits in fifth within striking distance. Harlan Cohens on the left of your screen. Mike Batman right in the second spot, right in the center of your screen. The points leader banging on that bumper of Harlan Cohens, saying, gee whiz, I'd sure like to get by and take those points away from everybody else. Gary Bennett sits in third right now and needs to pass Mike Batman to take the points lead. The points chase is very close in this class. Harlan Cohen's doing a fantastic job of holding off Mike Batman. Bennett taps Batman, and around goes Batman. Mike sitting spun out in turn number 2 off of the racing surface, it looks like. Due to the length of this race, the starter may just let them go ahead and race on by. What a break for Gary Bennett in the points chase. But no, the yellow flag comes out. And just as the yellow flag comes out, Mike Batman pulls out onto the track. Looks like a very wise move on Mike Batman's part.
We'll see where Carl puts him in the lineup here. With dust, you can't see what happens over there.
Let's go to the infield and let's hear from Judy Palmer with an interview.
Claire, I noticed that you're all bundled up here with your helmet. What kind of safety gear and what's the purpose of having it?
A helmet, in case you wreck, it'll protect your skull, and seat belts to keep you from flying out of the car.
What other kinds of things do you go as far as preparation for safety?
I got an onboard fire system. In case my car catches on fire, I can hit the button and put it out.
Okay, and how are you standing in the races right now?
Fair.
We're back to racing. The green flag falls again with Harlan Cohens in the lead. Now Mike Batman spun out, and they say he did it on his own, so he has to go to the back of the pack. You see him right there passing Brad Watson, and Mike Batman is hard on the gas to catch up with those front runners. We should be nearing the end of this race. We see Shelley Bennett with the dragging bumper. The flagman gives her the black flag, and that's a little bit too dangerous. But we're back to the front. There's Nels Holt in third place. Harlan Cohens, you see him, 18. Gary Bennett would like to get by and get those extra points to surpass Mike Batman. But Harlan Cohen's doing a fantastic job out in front of the Littrell Welding Chevrolet. Bennett every once in a while sees a little opening and tries to stick the nose of that car, that beautiful Nova car, in there and try to get around, but it's not going to go. There's the black flag car. You can see the bumper dragging, and we have a white flag. Harlan Cohens needs to hold on for one more lap, and he's got this race in the bag. Down the back straightaway they go. There's Ken Cope in that beautiful Camaro, number 78. Out of turn 4 is Cohens, Bennett, and Holt, the first three. And that's how they finish as the checkered flag comes down for Harlan Cohens. And we have a crash on the front straightaway. Gene Gamble spinning around, ending up backwards in the apron area right in front of the grandstands. In fact, almost in front of us as he tries to get started, get back to the infield. The checkered flag falls for the number 18 car of Harlan Cohens. We'll be back with more auto racing in just a moment. Wayne Dodge and Terry Lawson bringing you the action for Fair Race 1984. What a fantastic fair we've had. The sprint cars out on the track, you can see them forming for the feature event for their class, and this will be the only main event for sprint cars. Around the track they go, and we've got on the pole the number 32 car, Artie DeWald, and on the outside will be 17, I believe. That's Greg Benson. They're coming around out of turn 4. Looks like we might have a start. There's the green flag. We're back racing. Artie DeWald jumps out in an early lead. Jim Stanley sitting right on his rear bumper, and he'd like to get out and establish some type of a lead. But look there, Kevin Etchison jumps up from the inside, forces Benson to the outside a little bit, and makes racing room for himself. And now he's challenging Stanley. Stanley gets by DeWald on the outside. A good pass. We've got cars on the turn number 3. Look at that action. It's so cloudy over there, I can't see who's involved. It looks like 3 cars, or 2 or 3 cars. I see Ted Doremus, and I see Eddie Minter, and I also see Gordon Smith, the fast time car for the night, that beautiful Stroh's sprint car. Let's go to the infield, and Judy Palmer.
What was I going to ask you? Oh, crowd. Is it unusual to have this many people come out to the races?
Well, usually on the fair race nights, there's a lot of people come. They get in for one admission. A lot of come to see because there's always exciting races during the fair. There's always a high excitement in the drivers. They know it's going to be on TV, and they know that there's going to be lots of fans watching them, and they get a little overexcited sometimes. They all try to win.
Right, let's go watch them.
Okay.
And we're getting the pack formed up once again. The spin out taken care of, and all the racers back in action. There's a good word from Mike Lyons. His protege now, Mike Ramsey, owns the 87 car, and Mike Lyons is an ex-track champ here in the super stock division. The cars are reforming. We have on the pole the number 32 car in the sprint division. That's Arnie DeWald. In second place will be Jim Stanley. Sitting in the third spot, Kevin Etchison. Then it's Greg Benson and Ron Hine. Ted Doremus, number 13. And then we have the 75, Eddie Minter. Then quick Rick Brown, Wes Kelly. In the 73, number 4 car, Mark Kosmicki. Claire Morgan, the third, in 38. As they come down the front straight on a parade lap. As they get the lineup sorted out. Number 11 car, and that beautiful Nance Sprinter, is Gordon Smith. Number 44, Greg Benson, and Vic Bridges in the 7 car. There's Ron Hine, 73 Eddie Minter. There's number 4 car, Mark Kosmicki, Benson, Doremus, and Bridges. Now it's up to the first car to set a pace.
That's correct. The other cars have to be in line behind him and packed up in order to get a green flag.
And they're supposed to start how? And a double file restart for the sprint cars only?
The restart should be a single file, I believe. We'll see what he does here.
Now we'll see some of the drivers poke the nose out into the second groove or something as we watch them come around turn number 4. And is that allowed on a restart? To be about in the second groove, or?
Oh yes.
As long as you're not past the competitor in front of you. Okay. Efficient work done by PRA officials as they get the lineup straightened out. The lineup is called down from the lap checkers up in the Crow's Nest announcing booth here at beautiful Douglas County Fairgrounds Speedway. Green flag's out. What a surprise. I think that surprised everybody, even the flag man himself. He said, heck, we're just going to do some racing. And as a result, we have number 44, Greg Benson, spun out in turn 2. And Kevin Etchison leads the pack down the straightaway. But I do not believe he will be able to maintain that position. Arnie DeWald will jump back up into first.
They'll revert to the last completed lap and put Etchison back to third. They know where they belong.
And Kevin Etchison does so, as he's a very competent and on-the-ball driver. He'll drop back to third place, and we'll get ready for the restart. While we wait for that restart, let's hear from the pit area.
Harlan, can you tell me a little bit about the race you just won?
It was a disaster. We had a pretty good wreck. I was right in the middle of it, and I was very fortunate the car even was able to finish the race. But all in all, it was fun because I won, I guess.
Hey, and that was 25 laps, right?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of strategy to going into that?
Well, 25 laps. We normally run 35 laps, so 25 laps you do have to work through the traffic a little faster because you will run out of time if you start at the back.
You want to go over and check out your car?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we see the cars coming out of turn number 2. There's Ronnie Hine and Eddie Mitter in the 75 as we pan up to the front of the pack. Out of turn number 4, they'll be looking for the green flag. Arnie DeWald in the front. We may get another quick green, but no. Starter says, we're going to give you one more chance around. Keep that car warmed up. Okay, the pace picks up now. Quickens, I guess I should say. After an hour and a half of this, you do get a little stumbly. The green flag's back out. Here we go, racing. Arnie DeWald leads the pack once again into turn number 1. Then it's Jim Stanley and Kevin Etchison making that patented inside move. He'd like to get by, get out in front. And he's in the race for the points leader in the sprint division. Jim Stanley trying to get by, working hard on the outside to get by DeWald in the 32 car. What a good race we have for that lead spot. Here comes Ronnie Hine right into your picture, charging up to the lead, and another spin out in turn number 4. Eddie Mitter and Wes Kelly, what a shame. They were both working up to the front of the pack very well. That should put them to the back.
Or to the pits, depending on what they've done there.
If there's a problem or a mechanical failure with their car, obviously they would be required to fix it, or they could continue. It looks like it was just a spin out. Let's have a word from the infield and Judy Palmer.
Roy, how long have you been racing out here at the track?
Oh, close to 20 years, I think. I don't know exactly.
Over this time, have you seen a lot of changes in the cars?
Oh, yes, there has. They've really updated, improved, and a lot safer than they used to be. They're real safe now.
What do you think people come out here for?
Oh, they like to see crashing, I think, and something really exciting, you know, like we've been doing.
Has there been a lot of wrecks out here tonight?
Quite a few. Probably about normal. About normal.
Thank you.
Well, for all your race fans, that normal amount of crashes, for those of you who would like to see crashes, that would be a very fun thing to do. Come here every Saturday night. Races are Saturday night, Terry?
Yes, they are. We're in the Saturday night part of the schedule, with the exception of the Friday, Saturday Outlaw show, which will be our next event here.
And that will be the Outlaw 100 for super stocks only. You won't see these cars racing.
No, these cars will not return until the following week when we get back to the points racing, our next to last points race.
Well, that's good information. As you can see, Eddie Mitter has a toe problem. The front wheels aren't lined up, but he's not going to go to the pits. He's just going to stay out there and race it. Here they come out of turn 4. They look lined up, but the starter says no, one more chance. There we see Arnie DeWald and the second place car, Kevin Etchison, as he made a successful pass before the yellow flag came back out, and the green comes out, back to racing. Etchison would like to get around post haste, and he does. Down the back stretch, he hooks up real good on that new asphalt, and down into turn number 3 he goes. We're seeing Kevin Etchison doing a fantastic job of driving tonight. He'd like to lengthen that points lead that he has now. I believe there's 4 racers in the points chase, and this could solidify the lead for Etchison if he's able to win the main event tonight. Sprint cars are very exciting class to watch. Open wheels, lots of action. The wings on the tops offer downforce on the chassis, and it allows allows the racers to go a little bit faster through the corners and faster down the straightaways, allows them to get the power to the ground. Arnie DeWall just falling back one ride after the other here as the faster cars work their way up through the pack. There we see Hine and Kosmicki as they're moving up to the front. But right now, Etchison has about a 5-second lead over the third place car of Ronnie Hine, who's a very fast driver here at the track. Second place is Jim Stanley, who comes from a racing family. Big Jim Stanley. We see a crash on the front straightaway. A couple of cars hooked up. Claire Morgan the third, and Ted DeRamus out of the same racing stable. This is reminiscent of...
I've never quite seen a tow done that way.
Of a tow truck here, yeah.
Working out here.
Looks like one of the Nerf bars got... While we're away on the break, the green flag fell again, and Kevin Etchison continues to pull out that lead over James Stanley. Ronnie Hine moves up real close in third spot. There we see Vic Bridges going by. The lights have come on to aid in the vision for the drivers. There's a good shot of Stanley and Hine. That smoke is not from the engines, that's purely from the tires as we get a good smell here of burning tire rubber. It's awful strong, Terry.
Extremely fast field of cars here from second to sixth place.
There you see the top 4 or 5 cars in the field as they go into turn 1. They look like dirt trackers out here. Stanley takes out the 33 car, Rick Brown, and there goes Greg Brown. Stanley got a little bit loose on the back end and started a fishtail. Thought he had it corrected, but he did not. He spun backwards. He spun clockwise, and Rick Brown happened to be there at the wrong time in the wrong place, and we have another yellow flag. This has certainly been an interesting race in that we've seen a lot of spin-outs.
That we have. These guys are really excited tonight.
Here's Judy Palmer in the infield.
John, what all goes into the towing?
Well, first of all, we make sure, along with the ambulances, that the drivers are safe when there is an accident. When we've verified that, then we go out and clear the track as soon as possible.
And is there a lot of danger in it?
Oh, not as long as the other drivers on the track are made aware of emergency vehicles out on the track trying to do a job, and they're playing heads up out there.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we have the cars lining up. The lineup comes down from upstairs, and they're going to try and get this in before we go off the air. Time is coming to a close. It's good to hear from D&D Towing. John Jewell out there doing a fantastic job. We really appreciate the fact that they are out here. Of course, they do this for no charge to bring the race fans a good glimpse of auto racing. The fact they can be out here and take off a disabled car in a very short manner of time is only to their credit. There's a good shot of a beautiful sprint car. There's so much chrome on that, I have to squint when I look at that, Terry.
It's a beautiful car. He's done an excellent job driving it. Very competitive driver.
Kevin Etchison out of Eugene. Who's in that second place car?
Roseburg's Ron Hine.
That's Roseburg's Ronnie Hine driving a car out of Medford, which belongs to Ray Niffen.
Ray Niffen, a former driver of that car. Ronnie's not in the top 10 this season. It has to do with the fact that the car was not ready for the opening part of the season.
Well, the green flag comes out. They're going to try and finish this race. Etchison continues his domination of that front spot with Hine in second, Kosmicki now in third, Rick Brown in fourth place, Gordy Smith, the 11th sprinter, in fifth. The white flag is out. Greg Brown, 44, is in the sixth spot, and the rest of the field goes down the back straightaway. Eddie Mitter, Greg Brown, Arnie DeWald, Claire Morgan the third, Ted DeRamus, Jim Stanley, Wes Kelly, and Vic Bridges, and they finish in that order. Around turn 4, you see on the victory lap Here he is, the winner of the feature event for sprint cars, Kevin Etchison. A fantastic drive for Kevin.
His second main event win in a row here.
2 main events in a row. That's got to show for the credit of the pit crew, car builder, and driver as well. Well, as time winds down here, we'd like to say that the competition at the 84 Douglas County Fair comes to a close as far as our telecast is concerned. Terry, we saw some close wheel-to-wheel slam-bang action. What's next for PRA in the weeks to come?
Join us this Friday and Saturday night for Outlaw 100. We return points racing the following week.
Well, that'll about wrap it up for us. So I'd like to thank our director, Mike Mays, and my producer, Jess Redmond, as well as everyone involved in tonight's telecast. Thanks for watching. Good night.